What is going on, everybody? This is the Sports Nerd coming at you here live on this Friday afternoon or Friday morning, wherever you are, depending on where you're watching here. Actually, no, yeah, it is Friday afternoon, actually. My name is the Sports Nerd, if you guys do not know who I am. If you guys do not know who I am a not diehard, I am a sort of casual slash sort of solid-tempered, if I had to say that way, Chiefs fan, who likes to cover NBA, NFL, all those in there as well. But, so we got two different topics. So today we're going to be talking about the Chiefs and the Chargers, of course, which is going to be about who is going to win. We're going to look at last week, see what is it going to be for, sorry, my bad. What's it going to be take to win that game in LA, our first road test of the year. And then we're going to look at the Boelt Fantasy League here today and take a look at week number 2 of the Boelt Fantasy League and see who has an advantage in that game, in these games, and who does not, and who is somehow let's see who's going to win that one. But before I get into this, I do want to acknowledge I'm just a 23. You okay, Sports Nerd? You sound sad. I just got out of school, if you guys do not know. If you guys are wondering how I feel after school, a little bit tired, if you guys cannot tell. I just got out of school about 30 minutes ago. And then sometimes I get a little worked hard a little bit. And then that's exactly what it was today, when you have like 5 tests in one day you have to study for, and then you're stressed. But you know what? The day is over. Football weekend is here. So we are going to get this underway. But before I get into any of these topics we're going to be talking about today, I want to remind you guys, if you guys have it in you, and I know you guys somewhat do have it in you, hit that like button if you guys enjoy this video. Hit that subscribe button down below and that bell right next to that button to get notified of all my other videos. Share this video out with your friends on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, anywhere to let them know what's going on over here. That way we can just let everyone know this is the channel to be for NFL content and NBA content as well. So, without further ado, let's go and get started with the stream. I've been looking forward to do this for a while. So, before we get into this, we do have some breaking news for you guys. I am going to fill you guys in here on some big notifications here. So, the first big one, especially for you guys in the division, for if you guys are looking at big news for now. And just a quick reminder before I say this, sadly I do not have the time for Roundtable today because I only have about 30 minutes on my hand right now. So it will be coming up soon. I will let you know that probably sometime we'll see probably next week for a little bit of a post game after that, because that's exactly what I think is going to be the best time, especially with me and my work schedule right now. It's a little hectic. So about next week is when I'm aiming for our next roundtable discussion. So, first of all, the number one news, which is going to be pretty huge for you guys, George Kittle with a knee injury is officially been ruled out Sunday for a game against the Jets. Now, in hindsight, what I am going to say about this, the Jets, I do not think are winning that game. Their defense is not the greatest. Obviously, their offense is looking terrible right now. So either way, I think they're just going to lose that game, although it takes away their number one target, Kittle, well, one of his number one targets at tight end, and it's basically going to be a little bit, not easier to defend, but like a little bit easier to not have to worry about a big load to have to tackle. So that's, I think, a big advantage for them too. But some other notable injuries that we have here. We have not officially had an official announcement here on Michael Thomas. He is officially with an ankle sprain, I believe, right now. Did not practice today. So does play Monday, but I'm not thinking he will be playing on Monday, because I just think that, especially with the injury of his that he has, I do not think that he's going to be able to be playing at full strength because of that. So that's what I'm thinking right now. So the next big injury is going to be the Kenny Galladay for the Lions has been ruled out for this week. So, again, I don't think a huge surprise to me, but but just for some breaking news there, that Kenny Galladay has been ruled out for the Lions in week number 2, which is this week. So, on top of Kittle, there is Kenny Galladay, another loss for the Lions there. Another one for the Denver Broncos playing the Steelers this week. Philip Lindsay is out versus the Steelers. And what I am basically saying about this is, I don't think they have a chance now. I mean, maybe the slither of a chance that they had against the Steelers, because the Steelers have a very good defense. So I do not think that they will be able to have a chance now because of not having a running game for sure. But with that, we have another big to lead us into some of the topics we're going to be doing today for the Chiefs and the Chargers. We got 3 big injuries now for my Chiefs here. We got Alex Okafor, Kalen Sanders, and Javarius Ward are all ruled out for this Sunday versus the Chargers. Now, of course, if you guys remember, Javarius Ward was left early in the game last week due to a hand injury and ended up not returning. He has officially been ruled out for this week, along with Alex Okafor and Kalen Sanders on that defensive side of the ball. So, we'll get into that in just a little bit here when we get into a more in-depth discussion of this game. And lastly, Devontae Parker, for those of y'all who do have him, is a game-time decision with a hamstring injury. So that is another big receiver loss for the Dolphins there if they end up not having him at a number 1 receiver spot, which means he's probably going to have to rely on Grant and Preston Williams for if Parker does not play, since he is a game-time decision. Now, with that out the way, we have some interesting big topics we need to study about today. So, the first things first, let's focus on the Chiefs and the Chargers. So, I'm just going to phrase it this way, if I had to say it right now. Let me just say it like this. If we had to go back in time, if I had to go back in time and ask you, what is it going to take to beat the Chargers after week 1's win versus the Texans? Well, frankly, I think that these first 2 weeks, I've been saying it for pretty much a few times now, that these first 2 weeks are easy. Week 3 is when it really starts to kick up. We have the Ravens on a Monday Night Football game, week number 3. So I think this is another easy kind of game for us. I think we will win this game. Final score of 30 to 15 is my final score prediction. So that is what my final score prediction is for this week's game. 30 to 15, the Chiefs end up winning in LA. But getting more in-depth into the game, what I do want to say is, I think that what it's going to take is having a little more variety of the attack on offense. Of course, the running game did look good last game. I think it probably will look good this game too. So, what I think is going to happen, and what needs to happen, is that Mahomes, I think, may need to throw the ball a little bit more. Because I think that the biggest part about last game was they were not able to stop the run. Now, mind you, the Chargers did not have one of the best defenses in the league. But if you keep on running, they will just understand that this is what you're going to do against them because they do not have that good of a defense. But if they were able to just mix up the scheme and just balance out the attack with all the targets that Mahomes has at receivers and Kelsey at tight end, I think it will look a lot better because I think that what it is going to take is that if we end up running the ball like we did last game, which of course Clyde Hilaire went off last game all over the Texans defense, then good. That's a very good thing. However, what I do want to say is that if we do that again this game, it will not be as high scoring of a game, I think. Because they will get used to the scheme. They will know how to attack the scheme. And then they will be able to just get possessions more back because they'll be getting, I think, 3 and outs from that. However, looking at the defensive side of things, because offense, even if we run the ball a lot and we do succeed, I'll be happy with that. Because I know now that for 2 straight games, Clyde has been able to run the ball very well. Mahomes can easily, if he proves this game, he can throw the ball more widespread to his receivers. I'll be very happy with that as well. I think that's another big key, which I'll get into in a minute. And then just overall not turning, and again, my third last one here is not turning the ball over. So that's what I think are the 3 on offense here. Now on defense, we have some big injuries on defense. Our defensive end on the left side, Alex Okafor has been ruled out for this game, so he is not going to be playing. However, another big injury is Travarius Ward, which is not going to be in this game as well. So, what I do want to say is, while I think that we could have a better game if we stayed healthy, I do want to see what our backups sort of look like. I don't think they're going to play very well. And that's what I'm nervous about heading into this game. Now, in terms of saying, do you think that our defense is just going to get blown by? No. I think that our line is just about good enough with Clark and Jones still on that line that we can still get some sacks on the quarterback. Again, Jones, I think, can force some fumbles. I think that just that our safety is very veteran, so I think that's very helpful as well, especially in a season like this with no preseason. I think that is especially helpful as well. But what I also want to say is we need the linebacking crew to stay healthy. Now, last game was not that situation because our linebackers basically had a lot of plays last game that could have easily gone a different way if they played it right. Because they played a lot of plays, I think, that could have gone a different way. So, those are my keys for defense. So, overall, the keys to the game are to have a balanced attack, no turnovers, easy penalties, no easy penalties, sorry. Force turnovers on defense, get some sacks, put pressure on the quarterback, and then of course, win defensive battle as well. Final score, 30-15 is the final score there. All right. Now, let's get into a much more exciting topic here and I see a lot of you guys in the chat are asking, what is your prediction for this Sunday for the Hawks? Now, I am, of course, rooting for the Hawks in this game. I'm obviously not rooting for the Patriots because whoever wants to root for the Patriots at this point? After everything they've been through, I'm never rooting for the Patriots, pretty much, again. So, that's what I'm looking at there. But my final score prediction there is, I think it will be a blowout by the Seahawks for a 28-7 victory at home. I think that Carson is going to get a lot of rushes this game. That run defense of the Patriots is not that good. But what I do want to say is that what we need to do is to make sure, if you're the Seahawks on that side, is put pressure on Newton, get him out of his comfort zone there. Then, of course, get some sacks, put pressure on Newton. No false starts. I cannot tell you guys how many false starts you guys always have. And then just play like you did last week, because that was what it was basically super successful for you. All right, so that's my preview of the Chargers, Chiefs, and then the Seahawks, Patriots game here. But what I think we do all want to figure out here is how are our fantasy teams looking for the Boelt League. Now, what we're looking at right now is your matchups for this week are myself versus Dylan Brewski, the Spider Team Nick versus Noah, Drew Kegels Bagels versus Kebron James, Norb versus Abraham, Martin versus Rogers, Robel versus Zeke, Colin versus Calvin, Cameron versus Nick, and Ashton versus COVID Slayer. Now, the standings after week 1. Kebron with 1 win. The Squad Beans division. Kebron 1 win, the Spider Team 1 win, Noah with 1 win, and Drew Kegels Bales with 1 loss. In the Steezies division, Abraham 3-0-3-2-1-4 at first place with a win. Rogers, Cal, me, and Zeke all tied for second with a loss. Now, looking at the Brewskins division, Ashton, Nick, Cameron, and Dylan all got their wins, all tied for first. And now we have Code Slayer again in last there. And then Norb's division, we have Norb, Robel, and Martin all tied for second with a loss, and Colin in first place with a win. So there's that. And what we're looking at here is, if I'm going to break down this matchup here, and let me just see what you guys are saying here. I think that what I am going to have to say with this game is, looking at my matchup here, I'm going up against Dylan. Compare our starting lineups. For me, Mahomes, this is not finalized right now, but what I'm looking at right now is Mahomes, Snell, Drake, Brown, Steve Miller, Hunter Henry, then either Gore or Parker, depending on if he plays, for the flex, Suckup, and then the Patriots defense. For Dylan, we have Matthew Stafford, Chris Carson, Jonathan Taylor, Hopkins, Diggs, Gesicki, Lamb, Blankenship, and then the Chiefs D. It's going to be hard to not root for my Chiefs D this week. Alright, anyway. Looking at this matchup though. I think I am right now projected to lose this game. Because what I'm thinking is I think he's going to win in the running back battle for sure. He's also going to win probably the receiver battle's up in the air. I win the quarterback battle for sure. The tight end I win for sure. The kicker I think I also win for sure. And then I think the Patriots, and that one's a toss-up too. So it's going to be interesting to see how this turns out. Now, what I think is what we're going to have to see is, how is one of my runners, because of course my starting runner, Marlon Mack, did end up getting injured and is now out for the season. And I think the big part is, how is Benny Snell or whoever I start in that position, not finalized yet, going to play in place of him? Because he was my starting running back. I drafted him, my second running back I drafted after Metcalf. I got Metcalf as my second rounder. I had Mack my second rounder, Metcalf my third rounder. So that's what I have there. Now, in terms of what I think the receiving is, I'm looking at probably Steve Miller from the Bucks at receiver, which I think could easily make a play because Goodwin is doubtful for Sunday. So I think that is a big play there. And then Brown is also going to be in there as well against that Miami defense, which I do not think is very good. Now, in terms of that, he has Hopkins and Diggs. So the big question there is, how many targets is Diggs going to get? Because if Diggs just gets all the catches, like he had a lot of them last week, I think that he's going to get a lot more points than I think I would want him to get. And I think that the big part here is, how many targets is Diggs going to get over Brown? And how many catches will he get over Brown? Because he has because I think that if he is able to give the ball to Diggs more, and I do not get enough catches from Brown, I could lose this. Because Brown is going to probably be my best receiver going. So, what I think is going to be the big problem here is I think I have a very tough test, and I don't think I'm going to win this week. But take this into account last week. I ended up finishing with 103.54 points and 2 of my guys getting injured mid-game. One of them is questionable to go this week, and the other one is out for the season. So, that's obviously with that going. But what I think is going to be the big one this week is going to be, I think the Mahomes and Stafford, I think, will win that matchup. The running back, he's probably going to win that matchup. I think he has Taylor, who's now going to be probably one of the big ones there since Mac is out there. And then I think Carson's going to get the ball a lot because they do not have a very good run defense in New England, which I actually do have that defense there, sadly for me. But the thing that's going to be the most intriguing here is going to be with D-Hops and Diggs versus Brown and probably Miller from the Bucks. So what I think is going to happen is, and if you guys are wondering why I have both Peyton Barber from the Washington football team and Snell in my lineup, is because Mac, my starting running back, was out for the year, so I had to get some guys off of waivers. And Nick, you are wrong. He is not Pittsburgh's third running back. He is actually the backup, I think. Let me verify this, actually. Are you actually serious that he's actually the third running back? I don't think he's the third. There's no way he's their third, right? He's not his third. Yeah, he's not their third. He's not their third. He's not their third running back. God. Yeah, Connor's going to play, but here's the thing. Yeah, Jalen Samuels is the third one, not Betty Snell. Come on, man. Like, seriously, I won't even be having, yeah. So, let me just actually remove. Because that is a message that is incorrect there. So, that's something that is going to be the big question here. If I end up starting Snell, how much is he going to get the ball? Because Connor's going to probably play. And if he plays, he's going to get a lot of them. But if he just gets just enough and gets some kind of score or gets some kind of good amount of yards, I think he'll be good. But the big one, if you look at what happened to Snell last week, he was on my bench last week. Now, looking at Snell last week, the final score was Snell on the bench had... Hold on a minute. Can I not see my bench? Or can I see my bench, please? Can I see my bench, please? Or can I not see my bench? There we go. Alright. Snell finished with 11.30 points, 113 yards rushing. Now, last week, though, we had Scott Miller with 12.90 points. Barber had 14.90 points. So, but this week, Peyton is playing the Arizona Cardinals. Now, the thing I am going to probably do here is put Snell in instead of, because I have Gore, Barber, Snell, and Drake as my runners. Sadly, I had to get those because of Mac's season-ending injury. Now, Drake is going to definitely be starting. I think he's going to have a good day because I think that defense in Washington is not that good. He's going to have a good day, and I think that's going to be big for me as well. Now, what I do think, I think what is going to happen is if somehow, I think Drake is going to probably have the best game this week of any of my players. Because he's going up against a defense that is sort of not very cool. Not very good. Now, if you look at the starting right now, I have Mahomes in going up against the Chargers. I have right now in the lineup has not officially been changed yet. I have Frank Gore in there for the time being because of the waiver wires. I have not officially switched it yet, which I will do tonight. But that I have in there going up against the Niners. No George Kittle. Drake is going up against Washington. Cooks is questionable right now. Probably will not play, so he's going to probably get replaced going up against Baltimore. Parker is questionable to play as a game-time decision. He's going up against Buffalo there at home. Now, the next one, my tight end, Hunter Henry, who had 12.30 points last week, going up against my Chiefs again at home. Then I have John Brown currently in as my flex, which will change, going up in Miami again this week. Then Ryan Suckup at home against Carolina in the home opener. And then we have the Patriots in there in Seattle. I think that Drake is going to probably have the easiest defense this week of any of my players here. And I think that he's going to probably get a lot of points this week. And Nick is asking here, did you drop Gore? I did not drop Gore, actually. So Gore is still on the squad, which I think is very helpful because I think that Bell is on the IR. Balaj is not going to get all the carries, which is very good. So if I just put him in a flex position, so if he goes into a flex position, just get me a little bit of points there. I think that's what he will do. Because I'm not expecting him to get a bunch of handoffs. He could get a lot, but I'm not expecting him to get a bunch. And if I just put him in as a flex position, I think that will be okay. Because I'm probably going to be starting, because of the way that Cooks and Parker are right now, depending on if those two play, Brown and Miller from the Bucs are looking like the two guys who are going to be my receivers, along with probably Snell and then Drake as my runners and Mahomes at quarterback. And then tight end is going to be Henry. My defense is going to be the Patriots going up against your team this week, which I'm not very confident about, but we'll see what happens there. And then Suckup is the Bucs kicker. He's my kicker this week as well, at home in his home opener. Now, the big question here is the flex position. I have a couple choices here. So, if Parker ends up does playing in a game time decision, I'm saying right now that he probably will be in the flex position because I want in my receiver position to have at least two fully healthy receivers, which will be Brown and Miller. I think those two guys will be good to go. But if somehow that Parker does not play, it's going to be probably between either Gore or Barber from the running back of the Redskins to probably be my flex. Doyle is out this week, but Beasley I'm probably not going to start because I don't want having three Bills going. It's between him and then two on my team. And then, of course, that's what I'm looking at in the flex position. So, I think that it's going to come down to, I am going to be watching this, so it's ever so slightly to change. So, what I think is going to happen is, my starting lineup for this week is probably going to be Mahomes, Snell, Drake, Brown, Miller, then I'm going to have Brown, Miller, and then I'm going to have Henry, Gore or Barber as my flex, Suckup, and then the Pats D. That's what I'm looking at right now. Going up against, in his team right now, Stafford, Carson, Taylor, Hopkins, Diggs, Gesicki, Lamb is his flex, Rodrigo Blankenship from the Colts, and the Chiefs D. That is the matchup this week. Now, if I'm going to start Brown, I'm not going to start Beasley for one reason. I do not want to rely on two targets. Because I think that if I just rely on two targets, Brown was my best player last week, had the best week last week. And I think that if he plays, he's playing a not very good D this week. And I think it's a very favorable matchup for him. It's very favorable for both. At the same time, looking at Scotty Miller, Goodwin is doubtful to start. He probably will be replacing Goodwin if he does not play. So, I think that right now, the big question is, if you look at this Bucs depth chart here, you got in there, Scotty Miller is in there. Godwin is doubtful right now. He's still in concussion protocol. We'll know more tomorrow about how that's going to go. But what we do need to know here is his top two targets are going to be if they both play. Evans is going to be playing, so he's going to be his top target. But because of the way that Godwin may not even be at full strength, or he may not even play, Scotty probably will get a lot of touches, I think, or a lot of targets, and possibly a lot of receptions. So I think that for that reason, I'm going to probably start him as a receiver. So that's all I got on here. If you guys have any other questions, you can leave them in the chat for me, and I can absolutely do that. And plus, Norb just came out with Norb just came out with another video here right now with basically the 6 keys to beating the New England Patriots. And why not? Let's just play it right now in the background. I'm not going to put it on screen just due to copyright, because I did get copyrighted for it last time. So, let's play it.
Hey, what's up, guys? This is Camp coming at you on this Blue Friday here at CenturyLink Field. Yes, the Sunday night game isn't for 2 nights, and no, I won't be in the building, which sucks, but had to be here just to get a feel of this place. I missed it so much, but I thought on this Blue Friday, since we're playing the Patriots, here are my 6, being that the Patriots have 6 rings and all that, 6 keys to the game on how to stop the Patriots. Here we go. Key number 1, we've got to contain Cam Newton. Yes, Cam Newton exploded last week, looked pretty good for his opener with the New England Patriots. Rushed for a couple touchdowns, threw for a bunch, but really it was the rushing game of Cam Newton. Miami Dolphins didn't know how to stop him, and that is going to be the key, first and foremost, is not letting Cam Newton do what he does best, which is running, stumbling, bumbling, running the ball.
He had 2 last week, by the way.
Seattle, Jamal Adams, I'm talking about you, brother. And also with linebackers, they're going to have to contain Cam Newton, keep him at a minimum to force him to throw the ball. Because if you ask me, throwing the ball is not his specialty. Make him do what he doesn't want to do, and they don't really have much of a receiving core. So, contain Cam Newton.
So, what I'm basically going to agree with him there is, what I think is going to happen is, yes, make him throw the ball. I think that is a very good key for you guys as well. However, I think that if Cam Newton does rush a lot, your guys' job is to make sure that he does not get past the line of gain a lot, because I think that he just keeps on rushing. He had 2 rushing touchdowns last week. I think that's one of his biggest specialties. If you guys cannot contain him, he'll just go all over you guys. So that's a very big key. Contain Cam Newton, just as he said. I agree 100%. And just do not make him do what he does not do well, and that's probably throw the ball. He likes to run the ball more.
Key number 2, we've got to win the turnover battle.
Yep.
Yes. Turnovers are huge, as you know. They can change the game completely, and we've got to be on the positive side of that. I prefer to see no turnovers whatsoever, but as long as we are on the positive side, the New England Patriots have to have more turnovers than us, no matter what, at the end of the day, that will be a good thing for Seattle, because no matter what, you could be playing great, but you have a turnover the worst time in the game, boom! It can completely go, blow up in your face, and change the entire course of the game. Can't let that happen. Got to win the turnover battle. Key number 3.
All right. Very important as well, win the turnover battle as well. Very important. Just do not give them extra possessions. Little turnovers as possible. Get as many turnovers as possible. That's what you guys should get.
We've got to execute. Execute. We don't have to be the greatest team out there. We don't have to be the number 1 team. We don't have to be the best team, but we just got to execute what we do. Go Hawks, baby! We got to do what we do best, and that means execution. What am I talking about? I'm talking about being, making an explosive, sexy, huge plays, but you just got to do the little things. DK Metcalf, you can't drop those 20-yard passes downfield, giving the Patriots defense a free down. You got to hold on.
Okay, I need to stop right there for 1 second. Just to say, DK I traded to Noah because I wanted Brandon Cooks, because I like Brandon Cooks. But I was so happy when I saw that last week, because I was like, if he did not drop that ball, it's probably a touchdown in my opinion, and he probably would have gotten there. So, what I was thinking is, that was like revenge to him. I'm basically saying, I traded you this, and I think that that is the way that it's supposed to be. So, that's what I think about that catch.
Onto the ball, you've got to minimize the penalties. Don't jump on the snap count. Don't jump on the ball. And if you're on the offense, we're at home. It's quiet here. No false starts. Don't hold. Just the little things. You got to do those little things right. Because against Bill Belichick and the Patriots, you make too many mistakes and don't execute, they'll take advantage and turn this game around in a heartbeat. Key number 4. We've got to prevent the big play. Talking the explosive play. We're talking 20 yards or more down the field. See, if Seattle's defense can keep everything in front of them and not let people get behind them for those big, gimme, huge plays, I think that is the key to stopping Cam Newton and his offense. Keep everything in front, give them the little stuff, bend but don't break, and then stop them and keep them from going to the end zone.
38.7K subscribers, by the way.
Keep them out of the end zone.
Let's get
Definitely
north to 50K. Come on, let's make it happen.
These guys beat you deep. These guys shouldn't beat you deep. You have more talent in the secondary than these guys do at the receivers. So you got to keep everything in front. Don't fall for those fakes. Don't let Cam Newton run and break free for a long run. Just keep everything in front. Minimize the explosive plays, and our defense should be in good shape. Key number 5. We got to let Russ keep cooking. Yes, Russell Wilson was awesome in his debut last week against the Atlanta Falcons. Better than I could have dreamed of. He was running. He was passing. He was throwing. He was 31 for 35 with only 4 incompletions. He had as many touchdowns as he did incompletions. Should have had more or less incompletions, if not for a couple of drops here and there. So Russell Wilson was awesome. We just got to let Russ do what Russ does.
Yep.
Let him keep cooking. And yeah, maybe it won't be that big of a passing type of scenario against the Patriots. They are a different defense, better secondary, so we've got to be more smart. I'm sure we'll run the ball more, but still, let Russell Wilson be the commander-in-chief out there in the field and let the offense flow through him. Because when Russell Wilson makes the decisions and he decides when it's time to run, he decides when he wants to throw the ball, when he decides to keep it, it's going to be a good day for Seattle. So Russell, keep on cooking, baby. We love it. And finally, key number 6, we got to stay healthy. This is the one thing that nobody really talks about is the key to the game, but I think it's a huge key. As we talked about in our roundtable earlier in the week, my buddy Noah Bolter said, what's the one reason that the Seahawks lose? Russell Wilson gets hurt. We don't even want to talk about that. It could happen, though, so we don't want it to happen. We got to knock on some wood somewhere, knock on concrete or something, because we just do not want to have any to happen. We got to knock on some wood somewhere, knock on concrete or something, because we just do not want to have any injuries.
He sounds tired to me.
We're a pretty good, healthy state right now. We want to keep it that way. We've seen a lot of games already where key people from around the league are going down with injuries, with hamstrings and knees and torn Achilles and all that. Please, football gods, let the Seahawks come away through this game, staying healthy for the whole season, ideally, but especially in this game, keep everybody healthy, let our players be on there. We are a better, more talented team than the New England Patriots. So if we can stay healthy and do all those other 5 things I talked about, we should win this game. I predict a game with a very familiar score that you've seen before, 28-24. Seattle wins it on prime time. Andy goes 2-0 here at home. Woo! Hawks! Let's go! Woo! Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, comment. Love you guys. Go Hawks.
All right. So those are Norm's 6 keys to the game. So that's where I'm going to wrap this video up. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you guys like, subscribe, comment, subscribe, share. Ring that bell. Get notified of all my other videos. That way you guys are able to make sure you do not miss one thing I put out. Share this video out with your friends to make sure you guys do not miss a single video and they're able to watch every single thing that happens on the channel. Roundtable sometime next week. Not sure yet. We'll decide then. But guess what? For now, it's time for me to go. I got some stuff I got to do. Until next time, my name is the Sports Nerd. Have a great rest of your Friday. Have a great weekend. Have a great football weekend. Good luck on prime time for you guys. And go choose.